Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we said, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we said, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. Y'all know what I'm here to talk about. And I'm going to tell you my first reaction. Thank you. I'm going to tell you my first reaction when I saw the Elon Musk and Donald Trump stuff going on. Incredibly disappointed that two grown people are in charge of running the people's business, in part, because Elon Musk is obviously not the president. And they decide to take their issues to social media. Now, let me explain what I think about what I've known so far. Then we're going to read the tweets so you can get you up to speed. I do not think this situation hurts Donald Trump. I think it only hurts Elon Musk. In this situation, Elon Musk looks like he's throwing a tantrum because of something that Donald Trump did that he did not like, and we'll get to the tweets in a minute. And he's doing all of this random weirdo stuff, and it was completely unnecessary. If he did not like something that Trump did, I think he should have set up a conversation with Donald Trump, or he should have done it privately, because he is not going to win this battle. Elon Musk was a stepchild that was engrafted into the family. And when you decide you're going to come out against Donnie, people are going to turn on you, whether you're right or not. I'm just throwing it out there. And I'll say this, him accusing Donald Trump of being on the Epstein list or in the Epstein files, it's like a little kid that don't know how to respond to adversity. Saying that about Donald Trump does absolutely nothing but make you look bad and could subjugate you to potentially exposing classified information. So whether Donnie is on there or not, you saying it at the time in which you're saying it make you look bad, Elon. Because when did you find out Trump was on the list? If you think he was on the list, did you think he was on the list when you were in the White House up on his armpit? And if somehow he's on the list, why don't you disclose at what degree is he on the list? But if you can't do that, then you're just going to look bad at the end of this. All right, let's look at some of these tweets. Elon Musk said earlier today at 7 p.m. No, what was that? 7 p.m. yesterday. When was this? The time look off. Today the 5th?
These are the same.
Today's the 5th. Maybe he's somewhere else in the world or something. I don't know. It says 7:20 p.m.
That's not the first tweet that he sent, though.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the tweets.
That's the first one.
This is the first one he sent, okay? He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Now, let's address this first tweet. This is also true, but outside of proper context. I do believe that Donald Trump wouldn't have been elected in part if it had not have been for the money, the influence, and the things that Elon Musk had done in that previous election. Also, Elon Musk wouldn't be where he is at if it had not been for Trump. There would be no Doge. There would be no platform for Elon Musk to be exposed in the way that he is, becoming as popular as he is, being quasi a celebrity, going to UFC fights, being at the White House, getting a lot of airtime, TV time, talking on panels. To be honest, most people wouldn't even want to hear from him if it wasn't for Donald Trump elevating him. But I do give him credit because if it wasn't for him, I don't think Donald Trump would have won. I really don't. I think he injected hundreds of millions of dollars into the campaign, and he did a lot to push. He went on Joe Rogan and, you know, all of the above. So kudos to him. But why would you put this out on X for what? All right, give me the next one. And here's another tweet. But I don't think this is the one. Give me the one that came before this one, because I think we need to put this in the context. Let's go to what Donald Trump said. I think that'll be a better one. Because when he first wrote that, Donald Trump obviously responded. And Donald Trump said, in part, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. So Elon is saying this. Trump responded with this. Now let's go back to Elon's response to Donald Trump saying this when he began to talk about EV. He said, whatever, keep the EV solar incentives cuts in the bill, even though no oil or gas subsidies are touched, very unfair, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that both big and beautiful. I guess he meant that's both big and beautiful. Then Elon goes on to his next tweet, and he says false about Donald Trump saying that he's only upset because he cut the EV mandate, which is a tax credit. He said false. This bill had never been shown to me even once, and was passed in the dead of the night, so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. Now, let me qualify this, because when I was talking to staffers in Speaker Johnson's office, this is what they told me, and it's profound. When people say we didn't have enough time to read the bill, right? Meaning that they put all this stuff in the bill and then they pushed it out overnight. What was told to me is that that's not always accurate. It's just the fact that people don't do their due diligence to read the majority of the bill. Because when they pass bills like this, the majority of the bill is either things that have already been enacted or things that are already on the records. What many times they do is they add a few things into the bill and then they pass that. So if you have been up on the bill, paying attention to what you should be paying attention to and reading up, you would have 80% of the bill already understood. It's not like you got to read 10,000 pages of information. And now with the advent of AI, come on. You can just put that thing in AI and say, what did they change? They changed this, this, and this, and this. What should I do about it? So I don't think that the dead of the night argument is foolproof as one would believe. Okay, let's go back to Donald Trump's. Donald Trump had another tweet, an X post, not an X post, but he had a truth post that he mentioned. And this is what Trump said, and Elon obviously responded to this. He said, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contract, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately, which I think that Elon is saying will hurt the government. And this is what Trump said that necessitated that response. He said, The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Now, I know it's all everywhere, but let's talk this through. This is why I think both parties, in my opinion, are being incredibly silly for no reason. Keep in mind, these are grown adult men that are both worth billions of dollars. This childish back and forward bothers me a little bit because not only is Elon Musk being childish, but so is Donald Trump. Let me explain this. Where was Donald Trump's sentiment on this when him and Elon Musk was hanging out in the White House? I'm just saying. He said billions. He don't know why Biden never got rid of it. Well, wait a minute. Did you feel that way when Elon Musk was helping you win the presidency? Did you feel that way when you and Elon Musk was traveling around the world, flying everywhere and having these speeches and hanging out with each other and wearing MAGA hats and the Elon Musk version of the MAGA hat, and his kid was in the Oval Office and you guys were going to every UFC fight together? Did you feel that way then? And if you did, have you been being fake to us this whole time? I just don't get it. That's why I don't like when Trump said what he said, because it's like, bro, y'all were buddy. You introduced him to us in part for us to love him and add him to the fold. And now you're saying he should have never been a part of the fold. And he was running thin. You asked him to leave. You forced him out of office. Like, when were you going to let us know that y'all were thinking about this? Elon Musk the same way. When Elon Musk goes and says Trump was on the Epstein list, I think we got that tweet. When Elon Musk said Trump was on the Epstein list or in the Epstein files, that's the reason why we didn't release it, right? He says time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason that they have not made it public. Have a nice day, Donald Trump. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Now, the question is for Elon. Elon, when did you find out that Trump was on the Epstein file? At what point did you figure this out? So you telling me that you knew when you were in the Oval Office with your kid in there and y'all were going to UFC fights and y'all were doing all this stuff together, that you knew he was in the Epstein files and you thought it was wrong, but you never said anything to us? To me, that make you look like a fraud. I'm just keeping it 100. It make you look like a fraud. Trump just responded. It's like real-time responses. Trump just responded to this. And was it about the Epstein files? It's another thing. He said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. Now, who in America disagrees with what Trump just said? Probably nobody rational. Elon Musk is just making himself look bad. Because when you talk about no tax on overtime, for first responders in America and all of the people who are working all this overtime in government positions and also in regular private sector positions, this is literally like getting a pay raise by a lot. This compensate. Let me tell you how brilliant this is, in my opinion. Especially no tax on tips. The service industry is gonna change forever if there's no tax on tips. That means if you're a bartender, you work in the service industry where they pay you overtime or you get tips, you literally have gotten a tremendous amount of a pay increase without costing your company no money and without causing any different changes within the city budget if it's a government position in the city budget or state budget. They literally have given everybody an incredible amount of raise in these categories in America without adding no more debt to any of these foundational companies, meaning that the actual private company you work for or the government entity that manages the budget. It's really that simple. And I don't see how that's a bad or negative thing. I do believe, and I said this a while ago, that I think Donald Trump is putting everything together within context. And this is why, yeah, it may be a little bit of spin here, but we're going to save here and do this and do this and do this, and then it'll be a net positive for America. That's what I believe, not only with common sense, but based on what Trump is saying, it seems more believable. Then Elon Musk deciding to act the way he's acting, and it appears that Trump is right. All right, let's go to Senator John Kennedy on the Elon Musk thing. This is clip 1. Roll it.
He's frustrated. I think he believes, in my judgment correctly, that we're quickly becoming debt slaves, that Congress needs to relearn the magical healing power of no, and I agree with him. Having said that, I'm not ready to throw in the towel on this bill.
Isn't that a fair assessment? Right? You see how Kennedy made mention that there are some things that they think they need to change, but you don't throw in a towel and just not do the bill. You work on it. The Senate and Congress should be working on this thing and making sure that it's what the American people want. And I believe that conversation could be had in private, not on X and all this other stupid stuff. All right, let's go to Scott Jennings. Roll the clip.
Say for yourself. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love them both, and I don't like it when mom and dad are fighting. But having spoken to him recently, I know he has a deeply held view that the debt that we have in this country, Elon, I mean, is a problem that must be dealt with urgently, and he does have some disappointment that Republicans don't share his zeal for the urgency of the issue. However, this is not a spending bill. This is a reconciliation bill, and it has 3 main points: making the tax cuts permanent, massive investments in border security. It fully funds the border wall, and the biggest and most necessary welfare reform in at least a generation. Those 3 things happen to be what Donald Trump ran on for president and won the national popular vote and a not particularly close win in the Electoral College. So this is the president's agenda. And I actually think Elon's goals regarding reduction of debt and the president's goals regarding passing what he ran on are not irreconcilable. They're just all not going to happen in the same bill.
Are Elon's goals the same goals that Republicans said that they also shared for, 2-3 decades?
Yeah.
Which is a larger point, which is only using it when it's convenient for them. But let's take a step back. If Donald Trump were serious about the deficit, he would not be giving more tax cuts to billionaires. If he were serious about helping working class people, he wouldn't create more barriers for people to get on Medicaid and create more work requirements when 90% of people are either working or training to work.
So you think that the Republican president that just won an overwhelming victory should raise taxes and increase welfare in this country?
I think he should
That is
raise
the most
taxes on.
batshit crazy
I think
thing
he
I've
should
ever
make sure
heard.
he's raising taxes on billionaires so they pay their fair share and
Hold
not
on, let's
hurting
pause real
people
quick.
who are on Medicaid.
Can we finally put this baby to sleep with this giving tax cuts to billionaires? What does that mean? When you look at billionaires like Elon, like Jeff Bezos, like Zuckerberg, like what the are you talking about when it comes to tax cuts? You talking about them individually? Because corporations are paying a ton in taxes. I'm a little company and we pay way too much in taxes. Think about payroll tax. Some of you guys that don't own a business, you don't understand what payroll tax is. Imagine 40,000 people working for your corporation and the company has to pay payroll tax. And then you employ 40,000 people with the average salary of like $50,000 a year. And all of those people are paying federal tax. And they're paying state tax. And if you have a facility that you purchase and you build, unless there's some subsidy, you have to pay property tax. And you have to pay sales tax when you sell a Tesla somewhere. Or the person who's buying it have to pay sales tax. And then if you're importing goods from out of the country, you have to pay tariffs, which is a tax. What in the are we talking about? I'm so sick of these people talking about taxing the wealthy, taxing the wealthy. It's federal tax. They still have to pay state tax. What are you talking about? Because you give them a percentage less in federal taxes. It's the most asinine thing that these people are so disingenuous. Elon Musk and them aren't paying taxes anyway, bruh. Their money is held up in stock. They do not have $200 billion sitting in their bank account. They have a worth into a company that if it's not, it's capital gains that's not realized. So there's no tax in that. And these guys, all these rich dudes know how to loophole it. They borrow against stuff and they leverage debt and they're not paying taxes anyway. And it's only, you're talking 3 people. And you look at all the mass amount of employment that these people are making, all the mass amount of industry that's coming to America. Think about Apple. Do you know how many iPhones that we sell in this country? You know how many people work at these Verizon and Apple stores and all over the country? Do you know how much tariff is paid on that stuff coming into the country, being imported? Those chargers and all this other stuff, Samsung, all these companies are, and they reduce it down to, it's the billionaire that need to pay taxes. Roll the clip.
Medicaid, who have enough things to worry about right now.
More Medicaid and more taxes.
I want people to get the health care that they need for
Illegal
their families.
You want illegal immigrants
For people who need it and can't afford it, I absolutely want more people to get health care.
Well, Scott, I just want to hang on.
No. Let Scott cook for a second. I'm gonna play her clip, but let Scott cook for a second. Hold on. Pause it. Also, I didn't address the Medicare part, the Medicaid. Donald Trump and them are filtering out all of this wasteful spending on people that should not be a part of Medicaid. What the F are we talking about? These people want millions of illegal aliens to be on Medicaid and Medicare. This is what they want. And then they wonder why we're spending so much money. It's not that we're kicking off people who are qualified. We're kicking out people that should not be on the system. That are people we need to be better work requirements. You gotta work for this. You can't just let any Tom, Dick, and Harry be on government assistance. That's taxpayer dollar. So when you ask the billionaire and millionaires and billionaires to pay their fair share, they're paying for illegals to have health care when we can avoid that and let Americans who need it have it. What are we talking about? Roll the clip.
If you're illegal and you won't get off grandma's couch.
No, it's not. It's not illegal. It's not undocumented. No, it's not. It's not 11 million undocumented.
Okay, listen.
It's 1 million. 1 million undocumented.
We actually have the facts.
I'm really ready to
hang on a second. We have the facts. We got to go, but I'll show the facts before we go, since you guys are fighting over it. There are 1.4 million undocumented residents who are covered on Medicaid through state funding, not federal funding. The rest of those people are Americans. Some of those people are already covered under the program and have to meet more stringent requirements. Some of those people, work requirements, some of those people will have to meet more stringent requirements, even though they may have young children at home, which is a new thing in the bill. So as I've said before, there are changes being made to Medicaid that are designed so that fewer people are on them, including some people who are working, but who might need to work less because they have young kids. Those people may lose Medicaid coverage. That's just a fact. More on our breaking news up next.
These people are so disingenuous. Let me just add this. Like we're talking about Medicare, Medicaid, government, health insurance. People should be able to have health coverage that they need. Do you know the reason why you go to the hospital and those numbers are astronomical? It's because if I'm illegal and I have a baby, where do I go? To the hospital. The citizen, the American citizen, has to pay $30,000 or something for them to birth a child, and that's with no complications. I mean, if you have got preeclampsia, or you sit in the hospital, you have to get a C-section, you have to recover for a week. I mean, you're paying $30,000 plus. The illegal alien has what to pay? Nothing. There is 20 million illegal aliens in this country. In the last decade, just say the last 2 decades, how many illegal alien children do you think have been born? And they have paid nothing. You're talking billions of dollars of medical expenses that are getting passed along to the American taxpayer, are getting passed along through costs increases. Like, let's stop bullcorning around and lying and being deceptive. These people are on government assistance. They are on state level funded government assistance, subsidized by the federal government in part. What are we even saying? And there's some other couple people, some naysayers in there. I got a clip from George Clooney, and let's roll that clip real quick. I think this is Nick's clip.
Do you think Trumpism lasts beyond this term?
Don't think so. I think it'd be very hard to do it. Remember this: Donald Trump is a celebrity. That's what he is. I mean, he's got he has a star on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't have a star on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm not lobbying for one. I'm just saying,
It seems like an oversight, by the way.
What's going on? He's a celebrity, and he's the president of the United States, and so he has been elected, duly elected. Fair deal. I'm not complaining about that. That's how it works. That's how this democracy works. But he's also a celebrity, and he is charming, and to the people who like him, they think he's funny. To a great many others, they don't. And so when he is finished, and he will be finished, they're going to have to go looking for someone who can deliver the message that he delivered with the same kind of charisma, and they don't have that.
Now let me comment on this. I think that George Clooney is right and wrong at the same time. I do think there's something to be said about Donald Trump being a very unique individual, right? He is very charismatic. He is straight to the, he don't pull punches. But Donald Trump is very divisive too. So the end of what they call Trumpism, I don't necessarily think it's a negative thing for America, because I think that Donald Trump serves his purpose. His purpose is to disrupt. His purpose is to call it how it is. His purpose is to get us reset. And then people, I think, are becoming fatigued by the shenanigans. Therefore, it ushers in a person who's less popular, less of a celebrity, less of a polarizing figure. That's what it is. And Donald Trump really don't bear the majority of responsibility for his polarization. The media literally covers him negative every day. They can't. The guy can cure cancer and they'll never report on it. They'll find a reason that curing cancer is a bad thing if Donald Trump does it. So what I will say is that I don't think that that's a problem for the Republican Party, because we do have incredible people. I think J.D. Vance is incredible. I think that if you let him debate, let him talk, let him espouse ideas, I think he would be a little more measured even than he is now, because he's the vice president of Donald Trump. So he still has to be that bad boy personality. But I think that he is a lot less polarizing. He got a lot less garbage, right? I don't think that, and I'm not saying Trump's garbage is bad. I'm saying they got fodder. They have fuel for the fire. That I know of. J.D. Vance and the like of J.D. Vance, he wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't a guy with prostitutes and 5 marriages and I mean, it wasn't a guy with Stormy Daniels and all this stuff. That doesn't exist on the average human being, right? He wasn't bankruptcies and, a big entrepreneur with billions of dollars and working all over the country. And, he got decades and decades and decades of things people could say about him, say a good, positive, negative. Donald Trump has a history of these things that people can use fuel for the fire. And I don't know a single person that's 70 years old that don't have a plethora of things people can target you on. But with the next wave of politicians that we have, I think we can line up some people that are honest, that have good personality, integrity, charisma. I mean, if you listen to J.D. Vance on Joe Rogan's show, he was very down to earth. He was very laid back, like your buddy you would have a beer with. But I also think he's smart and intelligent enough. His IQ is high enough that he could run the country and leverage people that will work for him that are quality individuals. I'll say this too, which will be a benefit after Trump leaves, which I love Trump and I think he's doing a great job and I think he will finish strong. But one benefit is the celebrity attracts imposters. And I think when Trump is gone, we are not going to have that much of an imposter attraction. I think people want to work for Trump. They want to be seen with Trump. They want to be up under his armpit. They want to be in the White House. They want to be seen at the parties. They want to be, because doing that make you cool in this day and age. When Trump is not in office anymore, I think he'll still have an impact. But I don't think J.D. Vance or anybody like that will have as much of a problem with these imposters as Donald Trump did. And because I think that J.D. Vance is not going to have that celebrity, because if you work for Trump, you become an instant celebrity. If you're on TV in your White House, with J.D. Vance and other people, you're not going to be that way. There ain't no merch that they're going to push and no stuff like that. So I think George Clooney has a point that there will become an end to this, what we experienced with Trump, because there's no other human in human history was like Donald Trump, and there never will be another Trump. But I don't think it's a negative thing, and I don't think it's a thing that conservatives need to be like, oh yeah, when Trump is out of office, everybody's going to scatter. Everything's going to go wrong. It's like, no, bro, this is a SWAT operation. Donald Trump is the battering ram. Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, he's the one that busts the door open. He the one put the strip charge on the door, blow the whole door off the handle and throw in the flashbangs and everything is confusing and chaotic, but he's opening the door and ushering in the possibility for somebody who's a little more mature. I'm not gonna say mature, and when I say mature, I mean mature in politics. That's a little more mature in politics, that don't have as big of an ego, that don't feel the need to get on social media every time something happens, that understand how to delegate a little better without the imposters coming after him. And somebody that don't have a lot of fodder for the media to make up and lie about. Now, they're going to attempt on everybody that ever run as Republican. But Donald Trump has opened a door that people don't trust the media no more. People know that if a president put his mind to something, he can accomplish all of these things without waiting 20 terms to do it. Donald Trump is exposing the Democrats for who they are. He's exposing the lies. He's exposing the incompetent Republicans. He is literally going to usher in what could be one of the best presidential administrations by sacrificing himself to do it. Sacrificing his wealth, sacrificing his sanity, sacrificing his youthfulness to then usher in somebody that's going to take the mantle and have a Congress. Congress is the House and Senate, but have Congress on his side, have a Supreme Court justice that's conservative. And if you can just not be as polarizing, there would never be another Democrat. I'm telling you, I just can't imagine. The Democrats will have to become Republicans in order for any of them to win. That's what I will say to George Clooney. All right. I think I beat that dead horse over the head. SCOTUS delivers a major blow to DEI hiring. And let's roll the Instagram clip, clip 3. Roll it.
Marlene Ames was working for the Ohio Department of Youth Services when a position opened up as bureau chief.
And then you decided to put in for a promotion.
Yes. My supervisor at the time asked if I was going to apply.
But just a few days after she got her 30-year service pin, Ames found out instead of a promotion, she was being demoted to a secretary.
It was humiliating going to work every day.
The colleague who replaced her was gay, and shortly afterward, the promotion went to a woman who also was gay. Ames decided to sue for discrimination based on her sexual orientation as a straight woman.
I knew the law was against us. Took the case anyway.
Akron lawyer Edward Gilbert knew it was a tough fight because federal courts in Ohio, like those in about a third of the country, require people filing suit to jump through another hoop by proving, for example, a pattern of historical discrimination, a burden non-minority groups can't always show. After lower courts ruled against her, Gilbert connected with the University of Virginia Law School's Supreme Court Litigation Clinic.
The Civil Rights Act protects all of us, and it protects all of us equally. And to have judges put additional rules and burdens on people just isn't fair.
But some civil rights advocates are siding against Ames.
Discrimination is not a relic of the past,
saying the law was originally passed to protect Black people and other minorities, and evidence of historical discrimination is important.
LGBTQ plus people report much higher rates of discrimination in the workplace than other groups.
Ohio officials
let's stop this
deny
real quick.
Ames.
I want to make sure we quantify these stats that they try to put out. Just because you feel like you're being discriminated against don't mean you're actually being discriminated against. Because if you ask me, I think white people are being discriminated against more than anybody. Straight white men are being discriminated against more than anybody. However, they may not complain about it because nobody's trying to listen to you, right? And then you go off to say Black people are overly skeptical of everything being racist. So anything that happened to them, they're going to report that it's racism. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying every black person does this, but I'm saying there's a good number, a disproportionate amount of black people that will say these things because they're looking through the world through the lens of racism. And so, yes, they're going to report it. LGBTQ people, if you're walking around as a victim every day, as soon as somebody do something to you, you're going to automatically think it's because you're gay. So reporting and these things actually being true are all subjective. Because also, men and women, do you think that men harass women more than women harass men? I would say slightly, but when you look at the reporting, it's vastly different. Women have said sexual things to me. Women have flirted with me on the workplace, made me feel uncomfortable. Women touched me inappropriately when I was at the bar. And I would never say anything. A man would never report when a woman is harassing him. I had a woman literally harass me and I called the police on her and the cop did nothing. Now, I was a cop at the time. I could have pushed the issue and I could have got her sent to jail and all this stuff. I just let it go, bro. But if that was me doing what she did to me, I would be in jail. And so with that being said, not always the statistical data points that they put out are accurate without context. Roll the clip.
Claims and say she was demoted as part of a broader restructuring of the department. But Ames says she didn't deserve what happened to her.
This is for everyone in the United States. Everyone should have a fair shake.
And she could not be more correct. Everybody should have a fair shake. The Civil Rights Act, our constitutional freedoms, our inalienable rights that are recognized aren't just recognized for historically discriminated groups, right? It's recognized for everybody, bruh. You can't hire somebody on a job because they black and look over a white person. And you should not do that. If you want to hire a black person, then when you're recruiting, open up your recruiting to qualify people of all races and go into different places that people are looking for jobs at and make sure you have your job available. And then hopefully that you get good qualified black people that are competitive enough where you can pick them. You don't go and say, I want a black person to do this. It's like, no, I want a good person to do this. And I hope it's a black person. If you want to hope that, but if the good person to do it is white and the person that you like ain't good enough to do it because they black, you can't pick them. Now, that's in most cases. I'm saying there are things that materialize that's a little different than just on paper resume, right? You want a person, like if I was running a youth organization for in the inner city community, of course I would want somebody that came from that community, or somebody that has understanding of what people in that community go through. That's like if you wanted to do an initiative where you want to, I don't know, do Bible study for gay Christians, which means you want to help them understand that what they're doing ain't right. It would be in your best interest to have some knowledge about the environment of homosexual people and where they stand and why they argue about the fact that you can be gay and Christian at the same time, which is an impossibility. Well, let me say this. You can be attracted to men and be a Christian, but you can't, but acting on that is when you mess up. Can I just clarify that real quick? Because I don't want people to be thinking I'm saying, oh, gay or Christian. It's nuanced conversation, but at the end of the day, it don't matter who you're attracted to, you can still be a Christian. Because sometimes you can't control your attractions, right? If you like big booty Latinas, you probably can't control you like big booty Latinas over skinny white girls or something. So you may not be able to control that's what you're attracted to. That's what you psychologically you think is beautiful. But whether you cheat on your wife with a big booty Latina is a different story, right? And it's the same thing about same-sex attraction or whatever the case, whatever your thing is, man. Maybe you like, I don't know. I get crazy because I'm going to say something and get me canceled in here. But some people like weird stuff, all right? But just because you find yourself being attracted to weird stuff don't mean you have to act it out. But also, you have to recognize why are you attracted to these things or what is causing you to feel that way. You need to pray that the Lord deliver you. Because some of this stuff ain't because you born like this. Some of this stuff ain't because you just attracted. So some of this stuff is because you exposing yourself consistently to things that cause you to think or believe that this is right. Meaning that if you go to a church and you see women in the church and you lusting, that's not because that's your instinct. That's because what are you entertaining your mind with that you can't even turn that off when you go to church in the Lord's house? I remember when I first got saved, I used to have to say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Because I see it. I was new. This is a little girl that used to go to our church every Sunday. She was a fine little Latino, had a little miniskirt on. And pastor and first lady used to cover her legs with the blanket. But when she walked by, I used to have to say, Jesus, 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 don't look. Don't even look, Brandon. Don't even look. This is why people are supposed to wear certain stuff in church, because I'm just coming here to hear the Lord. I ain't coming here to look at big booty Latinas, all right? Now, she wasn't a big booty Latina. She was skinny. But she was cute, though. And she was the only girl in the church dressing like that. Everybody else were dressing modest, because that's how our church was. She was, I don't know, for whatever reason. And she would go sit right on the front row. She may have been looking for a husband or something in the wrong place. I don't know what she was doing. But at the end of the day, it's like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Don't you look. I see a woman, I'm like, oh, she fine. Jesus, 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 Jesus. I just say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it always helped me. Anytime my mind get to going somewhere south, I go, Jesus, Jesus. Come on. Come on. Yep. I'm good. I'm good. Jesus. Jesus got me. I just say the name of Jesus. Demons tremble at the name of Jesus. Bodies are healed. Don't make me start preaching. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there for some of y'all. Somebody need to hear that. Let's go to the other clip that we have associated to the SCOTUS decision. So just so you know, because I probably missed the point there, this lady, the Supreme Court ruled in her favor. That's what ultimately happened. The Supreme Court ruled in her favor that is discrimination, and then she was awarded damages, I think. Wrote a clip on this one.
Late today, the U.S. Justice Department launched an investigation into the city of Chicago and its hiring practices.
It centers on whether discrimination is at play inside City Hall, given the large number of, quote, black officials the DOJ says have been hired by the Johnson administration. CBS News Chicago political reporter Chris Ty joins us now to sort out what we know at this point.
Joe and Erica, in Department of Justice terms, this is lightning fast reaction to comments made yesterday by Mayor Johnson at a church in Woodlawn. He was talking about the number of black officials in his administration. Here was the comment that set this all in motion.
The deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor is a black woman. Chief operations officer is a black man. Budget director is a black woman. Senior advisor is a black man. And I'm laying that out because when you ask how do we ensure that our people get a chance to grow their business, having people in my administration that will look out for the interest of everyone, and everyone means you have to look out for the interests of black folks.
The Justice Department citing that exact moment in this.
Hold on. I wouldn't mind him saying this, as ignorant as it is, if he was an activist. Because that's what activists do. They advocate for groups. But bro, you are the mayor of a city representing everyone. And you are clearly showing that you're biased against other groups by saying black people, and this wasn't in this clip, but he said in this conversation that black people are he said black people. He didn't say that the people I have in place. He said black people are the most generous people. He's capitulating, or he's kind of kowtowing to this black church. That's what he's doing it for. But he pretty much said black people. He pointed out the skin color. He's not pointed out people from this neighborhood or people that graduated from this university or people that I hire are this way. He literally generally said black people. Now, as a mayor, this ain't the mentality that a person's supposed to have. And I'll tell y'all this, I love black people. I do have a slight bias for black people because I grew up black. My mama black. Everybody I know is black. So it's a slight bias, but I understand my bias. And I say, I check it. And I say, well, let me not make that decision because that person black, right? Let me make sure that I'm equally saying what's up to white people just like I do black people. Because some of y'all know that when black people see each other, it's always, what's up, bro? Anywhere you go, you could be, you be in Antarctica. You see a black person, you like, what's up, bro? Black people just got that. It's fine. But you got to understand slight biases that you have and be able to acknowledge them and overcome them. And if somebody finds them, and I'm biased towards law enforcement, right? If I get a guy that applies for this, for a position here, and he was previously a police officer, that of course, I'm excited about that person. But that's why we have mechanisms in place, and that's why the hiring process is diversified, which means that we have a CEO, my COO, and there's other people that evaluate talent that where one person can't make a biased decision, right? Somebody that graduated from the University of Arizona. Oh, she graduated from the University of Arizona. I want to get that person in the interview. You know, those things do happen. You acknowledge those things, but when you're serving as a public servant, you have to be impartial and unbiased. Roll the clip.
Letter to Mayor Johnson today saying if these kind of hiring decisions are being made for top-level positions in your administration, then it begs the question whether such decisions are also being made for lower-level positions. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act prevents employment discrimination, but there are major exceptions, including hiring at places of worship and political appointments, like Johnson's senior staff that he listed Sunday.
They would not be considered employees under Title VII. So even if it were true that he was going out of his way to hire people of a particular race, that would not violate the law.
Carolyn Shapiro from the Chicago Kent College of Law says the DOJ assumption that since Johnson's senior staff is mostly black, that there's discrimination at play is a leap.
It's an enormous leap to say that because Brandon Johnson's top deputies in policymaking positions are African American, that the city is discriminating on the basis of race in its hiring of ordinary non-policymaking employees.
Our people hire our people.
Mayor Johnson, who's been called to Capitol Hill by
I'll let her finish. I'm going to let her finish. Go ahead.
Conservative legislators angry over Chicago's sanctuary city status, has been a repeated target of the Trump White House. Johnson has himself compared Trump policies to terrorism. Late today, his team saying Mayor Johnson is proud to have the most diverse administration in the history of our city. Our administration reflects the diversity and values of Chicago. Unfortunately, the current federal administration does not reflect either. Late today, the mayor's team offered this racial makeup of his 105 employee staff. 34% are black, 30% white, 23% Hispanic, 7% Asian, 5% two or more ethnicities. The DOJ, by the way, is asking the mayor to reach out to continue the investigation.
Go back. Let's look up right now the demographic of Chicago. What is the racial makeup of the city of Chicago? I'm interested to see what that number is. Now, just because you have a chart like this don't mean you're still not biased, because how many of these people are in leadership positions? If this is the makeup of the mayor's office, if 90% of the people at the top are black, this means nothing. This means absolutely nothing.
40% white, 30% black, 12% other, 7% Asian.
What about Hispanic? So according to Chicago's demographic, 40% of Chicago's demographic is white. So therefore, if you look at this chart, it's an underrepresentation of white people. Come on, let's keep it real. 30% of Chicago's population is black, and we know that probably 10% of them are criminals. And because look at Chicago as a mess. Look at Southside Chicago. 30% Hispanic. So 30% Hispanic. So Hispanics are underrepresented. Whites are underrepresented. Blacks are overrepresented by 4%. If you look at the city's population and you look at his mayor's office. So when you claim that there's diversity, you're actually underrepresenting groups to create this false sense of diversity. Diversity and a reflection of the city should be proportional if that's what you claiming. You can't have a mayoral's office and say, we are diverse when you're underrepresenting white, underrepresenting Hispanic, overrepresenting black. Then you wonder why people are skeptical after you said this and after they look at this chart, when you say, you know, when people are skeptical whether or not you're hiring black people based on skin color. Are you appointing black people that then appoint other people based on skin color? I just think it's enough time to be done with this, man. But I'll say this. If the most qualified people that you hire are all black, then that just is what it is. But for you doing it, like he said, doing it because he want representation of black people, because he believed black people inherently are better than everybody else. Now let's qualify this real quick, and then we'll keep going. If a white person did this, is what I want y'all to do to test. Whenever you see things happen, you go, if a white person did this, how would you feel about it? If a Hispanic person did this, how would you feel about it? If this was reversed and white was overrepresented, Hispanic was underrepresented, black was underrepresented, and you have a white man say that I think white people are the most generous people that look out for everybody, which I think that's probably more accurate than what Brandon Johnson said, because look at the country we live in. But if a white person said white people are more compassionate or whatever, that's why the so-and-so is white, the so-and-so is white, this position is white, we hire our own. Can you imagine if a white person said this? This is why it's wrong. Because if you put a different race in there and they said exactly what he said in the way in which he said it, and you find offense to it, then that means Brandon Johnson is just as wrong. Finish the clip.
30% white, 23% Hispanic, 7% Asian, 5% two or more ethnicities. The DOJ, by the way, is asking the mayor to reach out to continue the investigation and provide materials as they ask for it. And of course, we'll be following it every step of the way.
All right, Chris, thank you.
You bet.
Perfect. All right, let's, what's the next one I want to do? Should I do the Chinese food thing or should I do the Secretary Jean-Pierre? Let's go to Cream Jean-Pierre. Let's go to this girl. And there's rumors out here that she left the Democrat Party. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I think it's invaluable to look at the totality of circumstances. First of all, Jean-Pierre is not a real person, right? I mean, these people are not, Don Lemon no more is a real person. So can we just be honest? Like, these people have literally a very minimal amount of value. Don Lemon does not espouse things because he's informed about them and because they're actually accurate and he cares. Don Lemon espouses things based on a political agenda. Same thing with Jean-Pierre. Does she have original thought? No, she does not have an original thought. She has to capitulate to her LGBTQ side and the Democrat Party side. So that's why I say they're not real people. Not that they don't have flesh and bones and not that the Lord can't save them. I'm saying these people, like, for instance, when I make content, I evaluate the content based on what I know and what I believe, and then I present the content. I don't care if it's positive or negative against Trump. I don't care if it make Republicans look bad or not. I don't give a F. I have my own platform. And the way my platform is built is this. I'm not making videos to tailor to you. I make videos based on what my experiences are and the things that I know based on my research and study. And people that agree with that, they follow me. It's I do this, people that like this follow me. It's not that people follow me because I do this for them. I'm going to keep it real and say what I got to say. And I have learned over the years that if you just keep it real, now, of course, you have to be measured. You can't just blow up on people every time you get upset or you feel an emotional response is necessary. You gotta be mindful of what you say and how you say it and when you say it, right? You got to be appropriate, right? I wouldn't bash on Donald Trump after he almost got assassinated. I'll kind of wait to give that bashing, that lashing at another time. So there's ways in which you can be strategic about how you communicate. However, I'm going to tell it like it is. And that's has made me incredibly popular. I don't have to be somebody I ain't. These people have to be people that they ain't, potentially. They may be just as evil, but I don't know. I don't think so. Roll the clip.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
I need to preface this. These are clips of Jean-Pierre and her ridiculousness on television. That's what this is all about. So just so you know, we just have a collage of that content. Roll the clip.
You're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with it. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is, that is not a question that we should be even asking.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? She must not be here.
No, I totally understand. I just explained she was on top of mind.
The book is suggesting the president tells aides he's tired.
But that's in the excerpt, right?
Yeah, and that's why there have been so few public events before 10 a.m.
I mean, that's a ridiculous assumption to make.
President Biden is the oldest president in U.S. history. Why does White House staff treat him like a baby?
No one treats the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief, like a baby.
So there's this book that says
that's ridiculous.
When staff
it's a ridiculous claim.
What's...
I would put the president's stamina, president's wisdom, ability to get this done on behalf of the American people against anyone.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you, sir. Comments were made in that report about that, obviously about his memory that we don't believe lives in reality. I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem.
I think there is so much misinformation, disinformation, as we've been talking about. You talked about the video of the president wandering, and it's not true, right? The president wasn't wandering. And so we believe we have to call that out. We've been calling it cheap fakes. That is something that came directly from the media outlets. Is anyone in the White House hiding information about the president's health or his ability to do the job day to day?
Absolutely not. What we have released has been very comprehensive. It has been. It has been transparent. With age comes wisdom.
I got a plethora of more clips, but I'm putting this out here to show you guys the disingenuous nature of what I had mentioned. These people are not real. They're advocating for their side. Now, I will say this because I'm fair. It is very difficult to work that position because you do have to be that way for the president. You got to cover for the president. That's just it. You can't. Ain't no way in the world a press secretary gonna get out there and be like, "Yeah, man, he crazy as mud, man. I don't even know how y'all elected him, man. He's troubling. It's troubling. The state of his administration is troubling." That they will get fired on the spot. They just walk them right off the podium right there after they say that and put another person right in. So I get it. I'm not naive, but it does illustrate when these people try to come out and act like they're really telling you the truth. You got to take what they say with a grain of salt because they do have a duty to defend the administration. And if it's indefensible, they just not going to talk about it. That's just the way it's got to be. Let's go to the View about Jean-Pierre leaving the Democrat Party. The View. And I ain't talking about these bald-headed. I want to say something. Stop, Brandon. Y'all pray for me. Roll the clip. No, hold on. It's The View. Clip 3. Roll it.
All Binder's gold digging for book deals, Democrats are rolling their eyes. One Democrat says Binder's book is the most grifty thing I've seen in a long time. And that's saying something in Washington. One former Biden White House official says she was the public face telling us all that this White House was on track and that Biden was amazing. And now she doesn't even want to be a Democrat. Here's what CNN said about DEI Tapper.
What bothers me about this, and I was making some phone calls before this to a number of former Biden administration officials and people in the White House, where they were saying this is just all an attempt to sell books. And that is what the general consensus is right now in the Democratic Party.
Whoa, wait a second. When Tapper's book came out, CNN was like, this book was brave. But Binder writes a carbon copy and it's like, uh-oh, money grab. One Democrat insider tells Fox, the job market's really tough right now for Biden world, and I cannot begrudge anyone who needs to make a quick.
Do we have a clip of the View talking about this?
Yeah. Well, not about the job, just why she's leaving.
This is the clip I was asking for right here. This was clip 3, right?
No, that was clip 4.
Do we have a clip 3? Because the clip 3 on my list says The View on Jean-Pierre leaving the Democrat Party. Okay, roll it.
President Biden's former press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, announced that she's writing a new book called Independent, a look inside a broken White House, outside party lines. And she shared why she says she's leaving the Democratic Party. Take a look.
I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. If you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you.
So do you agree thinking outside party lines might be our best bet, or will it just, revert to what it always has been?
Well, I think it's a more honest political take. I feel like maybe I'm biased as an independent that everyone should be independent, but it's the largest group of voters we have are independents, and I think it's because our system is so simplistic by having two parties and assuming anyone fits in those boxes at all. But I also realize some people push back and they say, oh, but you can't vote in the primaries. Right now in this country, in 35 states, they're either open or semi-open, which suits the independent voter. And I think it's time for politicians to sell themselves completely to someone consuming what they have to offer and not worrying about jersey-wearing partisan politics and tribalism. I think it works.
But so she calls herself an independent. That means that she'll vote for a Republican? I doubt it.
No, but you're also simplifying that. Usually an independent leans one way. I have voted left for 25 years. But I don't identify as a Democrat because the Democrats don't stand for what I stand for
but you keep voting for them.
I wait to see the candidates. And if the Republicans ever put up a candidate that I was like, that's my person, in a heartbeat I would vote for them.
I think that makes... Let me add to this foolery. First of all, it's a money grab. Why is Jean-Pierre writing a book, Jay Tapper and them writing a book, and they're writing about things that they should have said when they were in positions of power, but they didn't. They neglected the American people, and people just make money. Republicans do the same thing. You see people writing books after they leave the administration. It's a way to make money. Y'all, listen, I wrote a book, and I didn't write a book to make money, but I know you can make money writing a book. I know you can make, and I ain't make a lot of money writing my book because I just don't think, I didn't push my book a lot, and I was rushed to do my book the way I did it. The publisher was like, we need to get your book out there. And then they tell me, you 40 pages short on it. And then they postpone my book I'll never work with that publishing company ever again in my life. Terrible. That wasn't really a reflection of, I just didn't really, it wasn't a reflection of what I wanted to present. So I say that. But I know that if you have a book and you sell it and people like your book, you could become a millionaire. If you sell 1 million copies of that book, people that have been going viral that's not even on social media. So I know that there's a possibility that you can make money on a book. I'm saying all that to say that. Now, and I want y'all to understand this. It's kind of crazy because I look at the opportunities that I have. I look at who I am. I look at the reach that I have. And then I also evaluate the corrupt stuff that people do. And I say, I could do all of these same corrupt things, but I would have to be so evil to do this. This is why I lose respect for these people. For instance, I could write a book. I could try to find a way to write a book that's viral enough to make y'all buy it. But you know how crazy that has to be? You know how diabolical you have to be to do something like that? Where you're sitting and concocting a way to siphon money from people that trust you and love you and come up to you and say, thank you, man. I love what you do. And they comment on your stuff. You got to be diabolical. That means that if I was working with Charlie Kirk and I was working with conservatives and Candace Owens and all this stuff, and I wait for my moment to write a book dissing them to make money, is insane. I was looking at this woman the other day, and I know it's a little off topic, but I was looking at this woman the other day. I was telling my son, it's so terrible. This girl's a fitness model. She was like a fitness coach. And she was in shape or whatever. She make these videos and she go, if you want to lose weight and you want to get in shape like I did and still eat the things you want to eat, here you go. Buy my programs. She was taking Ozempic. It's like I could do that, right? I could say Synergy, I don't know, take Ozempic or something or one of these products, right? Make you lose a lot of weight. And I go, I lost weight because of Synergy. You could lose weight too. It has changed my life. I lost weight because of this Synergy daytime drink. And I know that I lied about it. You know how insane you have to be, bro. You know how, like, you gotta be a narcissistic, evil person to know that you lying about something when you don't have to. Synergy has its benefits. Weight loss could be a contributing factor, right? If you drink sugary drinks and you take a sugar-free drink, yeah, it can help you mitigate the calories and sugar that you intake into your body. You can eventually lose weight as you work out with this supplement. The night drink. Yeah, you get better sleep. Inflammation will be down. You get rest. Your body can recover. You will lose weight if you get good sleep, because a lot of people are inflamed and their digestive system is bad. They never recover. So yeah, it could be a possibility that in part, one of the effective measures of our night drink and our day drink could cause you to lose weight. But I'm not finna take Ozempic and then pitch this to you as if I lost all the weight because I've been drinking this every day. You know what? I don't have to do that. I can tell you, go to the gym. I can tell you, mitigate your calorie intake versus what your calorie expenditure is. Like, it's that simple. It's a rant. I'm just ranting, man. I developed a supplement that help you with testosterone boosting, will help you with stamina, and you could potentially lose weight by building muscle. Like, I developed that. You don't have to lie. And I'm saying all this to say, bring me back in the clip, that these people like Jean-Pierre and them, why do you have to do this to sell books to people? You should care about the country enough that you expose these things by stepping down when you see that Joe Biden is dead, by coming out and writing about these things as they are occurring, instead of siphoning money from people. Why do you think Jay Tapper is doing this? Because Biden is not in office no more. He can't leverage Biden's status anymore. Jean-Pierre can't leverage Biden's status anymore. So they now maximize, and they did this to Trump. There are people in the Trump administration writing books about Trump and all that. Bro, you work for Trump and you write a book now that you got fired? It's diabolical, man. So therefore, I'm saying this again to say, if you catch somebody doing this, unless they repent to God and they have shown proof that they never believe a thing that come out of their mouth again. If you catch a person that's selling you something, lying to you and tricking you into something, he's no recovering from that. Liver King and all these people, there's no real recovery from that. These people are evil, because I know what it would have to take for me to do something like that. And that's got to be pure evilness. Anyway, roll the clip.
That makes a lot of sense to me, given what the Republican Party used to be. This is the Trump Party. This is very different This is very different to me in my view. And so when you're talking about the stats, if you look at it, Gallup says independents, 46% who identify as independents lean Republican. 45% that identify as Democrats lean Democrat. They vote Democrat every single time, and those that lean Republican vote that way every single time. I had a personal experience with my dad. He had been an independent for 40 years. And I said to him, have you ever voted for Republican? He said, no. I said, so then you're a Democrat.
Yeah,
and so
no.
but you're precluding yourself in the state that he was living in from choosing a candidate in the primaries. And so he switched, and now he's a Democrat. So I just don't think with the Trumplican Party the way that it is, it makes this argument just
That's a
doesn't
narrow
make sense
view, though. I've
to
been an independent for 20.
So she just exposed how stupid she is, because, let me just say this, and nothing against the people who are watching me that are independent. I think if you are independent and you vote one way, you are a hypocrite. You're a liar, and you should be ashamed of yourself because you're too weak to take a stance on something. I'm just calling you out for what it is. Why would I say I'm independent and I only vote Republican? Then what are you independent about? You are a Republican. You could say I'm a Republican that's registered independent, but quit trying to act like you independent. You ain't. You're a Republican, but you're afraid to say you're a Republican because you don't want no backlash. You want the virtue of saying, I'm really in the middle. No, you're not. A person that's really in the middle would have a track record of voting for both Republican and Democrats alike. A person can like Joe Biden, not like Joe Biden, but like Clinton, but then vote for Bush, then vote for Obama, then vote for Trump. That to me makes it seem like you're more independent, which means that you do not take the Republican stance on abortions. And you always have been like that. And you do take the stance over here of Republicans with taxation. But if you vote on one side the whole time, you ain't a Democrat. You're not independent. It kind of makes me mad because I rarely find people who are genuine and say that they're independent. It's really, I'm a coward and I don't want to, and I'm not saying you are, I don't know you. I'm saying the people that I've met. It's like, no, you're a coward and you just don't want to tell people you're a Republican. Or you're a coward and you just want to tell people that you only vote Democrat for the rest of your life. You don't want to be pigeonholed. Quit being a coward and tell the truth about what you are. That's like a person in the middle playing offense about being a Christian. Well, no, I believe in astrology and zodiac signs, but then I'm also a Christian. No, wait. No, I'm living a homosexual life, but I'm also a Christian. That means I wanna play in the middle, but I'm also gonna be over here because I'm afraid to stand up. Like this is the people that I'm talking about. They claim that they're Christian, but they never do it. They never say anything in public. When they go to parties, when they go around people, they not Christian. They don't talk about Jesus. They ain't got nothing to say about Jesus, but they go to church on a Sunday. It's like, no, bro, you don't claim it because you don't really want to be associated with Christianity. You just want the benefits of being a quote unquote Christian. Lukewarm people are the worst people to me. Just say I'm a Democrat. This fool says she voted 20 some years and never voted for Republican. You cannot tell me in the history of her being a voter that she can find one Republican that made sense. Not one, not Bush. Bush was very different than Trump. Not one. I don't know if Reagan was too long ago, but not one. Come on, bro. I think Reagan was too long. Go ahead.
20 years
But the
now.
Republican Party doesn't exist the way.
But my point
as
here
it did
is
before.
that they're blind loyalty. The second I sat here at this desk and said I felt President Biden should step down, the hate I got was not from the right, it was from the left. To me, the reason I'm an independent is to say I call him like I see him, and I hope
No,
you do
don't.
too.
No, you don't. All right, I'm done. I talked over her whole thing. Hey, just so you guys know, like in post-production, when I redo these videos to put them out as individual, we cut out all the fluff. So you only hear me fluff on the live stream. You can watch it without the fluff on the regular thing for the most part. What is this denying Jean-Pierre job opportunity?
It's Jesse Waters. Jean-Pierre reached out to The View and they never called her back. She wanted to be a co-host on The View and they never reached back.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a good clip though.
Is it? Let's roll that Jesse Waters clip real quick. Nick said it's a good clip.
And the OG set it up. You just want to restart it, or did you play it already? Yeah, we did. Oh. That was the one.
What was the Fox News clip?
Fox News one was the montage one. Green Jean-Pierre montage. Yeah, Jesse Waters too.
That was the Jesse Waters. We played that one. That's the one you played. Okay, I thought it was a different
He
one.
mentions The View. I don't know if you got to that part yet.
Yeah, maybe we didn't. But don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, cool. I think that's it for today. I just want to touch on a couple topics. We'll make this show better. I mean, that's why a lot of people are not watching it, because I'm not consistent with it, and the theme of it is just me ranting and talking about certain stuff. So, but anyway, but yeah, I just want to finish it with that thought. You know, like it really bothers me when people are when they hurt other people through being fake. I just hate it, man. I hate it. Because I do have, and I have had people try to pitch me stuff to use my audience. And I just don't believe in that, bro. I don't need the money bad enough for me to try to leverage my audience to do certain, I don't need to do that. And I think that's why you guys love and respect me, because I don't want your money. God gave me an opportunity to have influence. And it is my responsibility to take care of that influence that he's given me. And I just, it bothers me when I know some people that are conservative, and I don't say their names because I don't want any issues. You guys should be able to diagnose it and see it yourself. But I know some conservatives that are fake as a mug. And you look at them and you're like, you just want to be famous. You don't really care about people. Anybody that's ever come up to me and said, Tatum, can I take a picture with you, man? I love what you do. I take the time to give them the attention they deserve, every single person, because I really do appreciate everybody that support me. I appreciate you watching and clicking on these videos. Even if you never bought a single thing from my store or anything else, I appreciate you watching the video, sharing it, coming up to me saying how all of that stuff in together makes an incredible difference. And it bothers me when I think people take advantage of other people. Let me say this to the young entrepreneurs out here. Never chase money. Always stick to principle. Principle will make you more money than anything else. I'm here to tell you. I'm not lying to you and telling you there ain't no money in this stuff. But what I will tell you is that you stick on principle and you do the right thing by people, you will make more money than people scamming. I offer things to you guys that you want. I don't have to lie to you and scam you or nothing like that. We make incredible products that I love wearing. So if people like to wear it, then buy it. If you don't buy it. It don't make nothing to me. But I'm not finna trick you into buying something that you don't need. You know, I feel like people need good, clean products, good, clean energy, good, clean stuff. We make it, we develop it. You want it, you can buy it. You don't have to buy it. And because I really believe in the stuff that I do. And I'm gonna say this last point and I'm gonna get to the super chats. I really believe in the stuff that I'm doing. I started that e-commerce store because I got tired of conservatives making trash products. They give you a shirt that you wash it one time and the sleeves wrinkle. It's like I work for a company that did that. And I said, bro, I don't want to wear this shirt. Why y'all selling a shirt that like I wouldn't even wear? I don't want to sell a shirt I would never wear. Why can't you guys buy better quality blank? Oh, they looking at money. They looking at bottom line. They looking at X's and O's. It's like, no, that's not how I operate. I want to get the best quality stuff that I can find at the great price point, because I'll price you guys out. I can find something that you be paying $50 a shirt for, which I don't want to do that. But I find the best bang for your buck, and I get it to the people because that's what I wanted. I want good designs, good trendy stuff that I can wear, good quality hats and stuff that you could do, great quality embroidery. I hired a whole team to do this stuff. Is because that's what I believe in. Synergy, I said, if it ain't gonna taste good, then don't waste my time. I'm not gonna waste my time. If it's not healthy, and if I'm not doing it for the right reasons, why would I waste my time doing an energy drink? It's been a headache all this time, but I'm doing it for the right reasons. There is nobody on the market right now that believes in day and night, which means that they believe you should get good sleep as well as you should be drinking energy. Nobody will do that for you. You know why? And this is my theory. I don't know why they do. Maybe it's not cost effective. Because they don't care how you sleep. They want you to not get a good night's sleep. They want you to get up groggy and feeling like crack so you can pop their 5-hour energy, or you could be drinking their energy drinks all day. And then what happens is residually, too much caffeine in your body will cause you to have poor sleep. Then you groggy at night and you got to wake up and slam them energy drinks. That's what they doing. Y'all may not buy as many of these because I got a night drink. People like the night and they don't need the day. Anyway, let's get to these super chats real quick and I'm gonna move on. Okay, hi, Officer Tatum. I started going to a new church for 3 weeks, and they have an about section on their website, and they mention baptism with biblical scripture. Mark 16:16 is one of them, which is great. That mean to me, if your church referenced Mark 16:16, I think it's a good start, because he that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. He that believeth not shall be damned. I think it's a clear statement in Mark, if you believe the scripture is authentic, because there's an argument that from like, I think chapter 10 all the way through is inauthentic. But right now, what's in the Bible today, that's in every Bible that you read, is Mark 16:16. Because it is true. When Mark articulates what Jesus said, he that believe and is baptized shall be saved. If you don't get baptized, you won't be saved. I want people to understand it. And people can criticize me. I can give you scripture. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'll just give you a few, and I'm going to move on to the next question. Mark 16:16 says very clearly, he that believeth and is baptized. It didn't say he that believeth and might be baptized or think about being. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. That's 2 + 2 is 4. Belief, baptism, saved, shall be saved. All right. John 3:3-5. Jesus said a man must be born again, born of the water and of the spirit, in order to see or enter into the kingdom of God. Romans 6:4. Those of us who were baptized into his death were baptized like him in his death, and shall also be raised in the newness of life. I'm paraphrasing, but Romans 6:4 articulates that. for those of us who were baptized into his death. That means we identify with the death, burial, and resurrection. Let's go to Acts 2:38. What should we do to be saved? Repent, be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus for the remission of your sins, and you shall receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. You've been baptized for what? The remission of your sins. It's not an outward expression of an inward change. Let's go to 1 Peter 3:21. Baptism do now also save us. That's what it says. Baptism do now also save us. Not the washing away of the filth of the flesh, but answering unto God of a good conscience. Scriptural clarity. Read the book of Acts. Every single person that they ever encountered were baptized. They didn't wait till Sunday, the next Sunday following the Sunday. They didn't do a baptismal service. They baptized 3,000 people immediately when Peter preached the word at the day of Pentecost. Immediately. The same day, 3,000 souls were added unto the church. Jesus was baptized immediately when he saw John the Baptist. Now, that was a different dispensation because he had not died and was risen again, which is the dispensation we're under. But still, Jesus gave an example of how important it is. As soon as he saw John the Baptist, baptize me. As soon as all the apostles were all baptized. As soon as Paul was converted, Paul went and got baptized. As soon as he was converted, first thing he did was get baptized. Every believer demand. Jesus said in Matthew 28:19, go ye therefore teach our nations, baptizing them. If the apostles did what Jesus said, every single person that they talked to that believed, they baptized. Or they disobeyed what Jesus said. He said, go ye therefore teach all nations, baptizing them. That means when I teach you, I'm gonna baptize you. Anyway, I hope your church I hope it's the right one, man. Keep your eye on the prize. Make sure you're reading the Bible. Do you believe Elon Musk would have let X spend all that time with DJ T if he really believed he was a pedo? Yeah, exactly. He just sounds like he mad. You know, I don't think he think Trump is on the list for no nefarious things. And I'll say this because the Democrats would have mentioned it. I'm telling you. They'd said they would have never released it, so we can't see any of their people on there, but they would say Donald Trump is on that list. All right. I don't believe that the feud is for real. They got this going on for their own reasons, 100%. They're going to be making up. Remember Trump called Marco Rubio, what did he call him? Lion Rubio. He called Lion Ted. Ted Cruz was Lion Ted, Lil Rubio or something. He called Marco Rubio. Donald Trump was smashing everybody in the and then they all friends now. J.D. Vance. I think he said Trump was Hitler or something. J.D. Vance had a negative thing to say about Trump, and now everything is fine. So, you know, it is what it is. I had my moments where I was mad at Trump. I never said he was Hitler or nothing, but I had my moment where I was thinking about voting for what was his name? I forget his name now. Governor Ron DeSantis. I was thinking about voting for Ron DeSantis over Donald Trump at some point. So I'm just being honest. And I look back on it, I was like, yeah, I kind of felt that way. And then when they tried to put him in jail, I said, it's something in me just rose up like, nah, we're not doing that. Nah, forget it. Hold on, buddy. You hang on back there. We got to fight for Donald Trump. He did so much for this country. All right. If tapes show Donald J. Trump doing something on Epstein's tapes, do you honestly think that would have been hidden in the information? Right. Obviously not. They'd be screaming it from a round top. 100% Mama Mima. Let's see. You just saw Elon betray Trump. Now you say Trump is Hitler. Hold on. You just saw Elon betray Trump. Now you say Trump is Hitler. J.D. Vance should be trusted. These people are not on our side. They are using MAGA to gain power. Wake up, JD is a fraud. I'm confused. Did somebody get this super chat? Does this make sense? It says, you just saw Elon betray Trump. Now you say Trump is Hitler? They saying I say Trump is Hitler?
I have no idea. Doesn't sound right.
J.D. Vance should be trusted? Is he saying J.D. Vance said he was Hitler? These people are not on our side. They are using MAGA to gain power. Are you saying that Trump and JD is using, are you saying JD and Elon is using Trump to gain power? I don't know, bro. Rewrite that super chat because that's insane. I have 2 masters. Oh. Hold on, how did that happen? Oh, that was weird. Yeah, okay. It says, I have 2 masters and God told I'll be hired as a teacher because I'm black. No one ever says I'm qualified. I'm more than a race. 100%, bro. I wish people stop this. I'm either qualified or not. The big, beautiful bill is trash. Hope it doesn't pass at all. Well, I think that this is what I think. I think that we need to refine it. If people have a problem with some of the things in the big, beautiful bill, let's fix it. Let's not just say we're not gonna pass nothing. It's like, makes me so mad when people we don't pass anything because we don't like 2 things in the bill. This is all trash. Then what the f are we gonna do then? When are we gonna do something? We spend decades saying we don't like this. We don't do nothing. So let's fix it and do something. Instead of being and complaining all the time about stuff that you don't like, what do you want to fix and how do we fix it and move forward? We're doing something. I'm so sick of politicians sitting there doing nothing but arguing and bickering and feuding. Get the mother freaking job done, please. We did not sit there and go to the polls and people didn't die so we can vote for y'all to be effing around all day and kissing each other butthole. I'm so sick of this stuff. Get stuff done. I'm sick of the arguing. We didn't hire you to get on Twitter and be arguing with each other. We hired you to do a freaking job. So sick of this stuff, man. And that triggered me a little bit because it's trash. It's trash. Did you read the bill? And what do you not like? And what should we just not gonna do nothing? We don't need to secure the border. We don't need to secure the fence. People were just arguing. The Democrats, they did with the border wall. And then now Trump is saying, let's secure the border by adding more funding, Border Patrol agents. When the Democrats in office, we were complaining that they don't even care about Border Patrol. They need to hire more agents. They can't do their job. We don't have enough border enforcement. The wall is not being built. We're not doing nothing. And then they try to do something and the spending bill is too much. Do you trust Trump or do you not trust Trump? That's what I'm saying. Do you trust him or do you not trust him? Do you think the man is evil or you think you know what he's doing? You can't do both, bruh. You can't do both. You either think that Donald Trump knows what he's doing or he doesn't. He cannot be a fraud and a savior at the same time. Donald Trump, he's going to save America. But you think he want to save America, but he's going to support a bill that's going to destroy the country. All this vacillation is just annoying to me. You can criticize it, but you have to at least at some point say, I think Donald Trump is acting in good faith. Maybe there's some stuff in the bill that we don't like, but at the same time, we still are passing things that we do agree with. It's annoying to me. Imagine how big you'd be if you went to ASU. I'm going to block him in a minute. I think I'm hitting a certain button that's making it do something weird. I think I'm hitting a button over here. Let's see. Officer Tatum, you have a heart of humility. You speak with God truth. 2 billionaires enter a Twitter fight. Only the memes survive. That's funny. Y'all forgive my passion. I'm just tired of the fake stuff, man. Everybody fake, man. Like Candace Owens and I are really good friends. She say things that I disagree with, and I'm sure I say things she disagree with. Show me where me and her are arguing on Twitter. I will call her on the phone. I know her in person. It's not like she a random person out there. I will call Candace on the phone and say, man, I really don't like what you said about this. Donald Trump and Elon should have had that same conversation. Grown men are arguing with each other on social media. It's crazy. The richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world arguing with each other on social media. Oh, we're doomed. Love you guys. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my